All right, everyone, we're back for another amazing interview here on Nourish, Heal, and Thrive. I'm so excited to bring Dr. Paul Kellogg to you. He is the founder of the Empowered Soul Network, and he's a mentor, coach, leadership trainer, developer. He's got so many titles under his belt, and he's really an amazing guy. And Paul, thank you for being here.
Well, thank you so much. It's great to be here with you today, and hope everybody's having a great day and ready for the weekend.
Yeah, so Paul, people don't really know you in my group. I'm excited to have you as a founding member here. Tell everybody who you are, where you're from, and what you do.
Sure, be happy to. I am calling in from Des Moines, Iowa. It's been a home away from home or direct home for decades now. Uh, I'm a part of the universe of these groups that you've started and that our mentor Amos Bracewell helped to connect. So that's the engagement of the Empowered Soul Network. And I guess in a little over 14 months, we've grown that group to over 8,200 people through the interviews and the interactions and the panels and things that we do. So your group has a lot to look forward to with expanding the community and reaching out and connecting and networking. I also started, because of all this, my own show called Rise in Excellence with Dr. Paul Kellogg. So I have specific guests on that have some great stories to tell, their adventures in excellence and so forth. So I do that into our big sister group, ENTV, which is now 26,000 people, Derek, in a little over 2 years. This whole ecosystem on what we got is just phenomenal. Can't recommend people enough to get involved with the work that you're doing and so forth. So I spent my career doing this, and I love to network and interact and communicate.
Yeah, and how does it feel to be over 8,000 members in your Facebook group in such a short time?
Well, I have to tell you, and I tell this story to everyone. My career traveled all over the world, done personal growth and development workshops since I was 19 years old. I did my first lecture tour when I was 19, sharing about intuitive development and how people can learn to really find their own answers and discern like what's me and what's not me as empaths and intuitives and feelers and healers and so on. It's so important to feel masterful of that energy. So I was in circles of connections with all that. And all the people that I met were the residual results of those circles. And I decided 2, 3 years ago that I wanted to step outside those circles and create a whole new one, create something different and unique. And so when I heard about what Amos Bracewell was doing with his helping people find a mic, a stage, and an audience, well, I'm real comfortable with that. So bring it on. Let's have an adventure. And I had no idea. I didn't pick it up intuitively. I didn't understand it of what was going to take place. Suddenly, I was interviewing people like we're doing right now, and these people were inviting their friends to watch their interview. They would join the group. I think within a week, we had 1,000 people in that group. I mean, it just blew my mind. And so, because of those connections, I've now been able to be of service to, those thousands of people. I've interviewed people in probably 30 or 40 different countries now, people from those countries. And my circles are just way beyond what I ever thought they would be. So to be able to have that voice, to be able to help others shine and grow, it's always been something that I love to do. So that's what took place.
Yeah, and you're doing an amazing job. It's really cool. I was really excited to meet you the first time I met you because you're in all those training videos, and I'm like,
Right.
this guy's like a legend here. So it's really, really, really cool to actually spend some time with you. I'm excited that we got to interview. I got to be interviewed in your group
Yeah, I
last
interviewed
week,
you
and
in our group. That was phenomenal. It was terrific.
yeah.
Enjoyed it.
So, um, tell us a little bit more about exactly what you do, and
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so since the time that I was very young, I always had these mystical knowings or people call it intuition. They kind of blanket it with intuitions and experiences. But I would see things, I would feel things, I would sense things. We had a little farm, and I was always very aware of when cows were going to give birth to their calves. And, I even woke up my dad one night in the middle of the night, and I woke him up because I had this dream that Bessie the cow was giving birth and she was in trouble. And so he kind of had started to recognize that there was something going on with this kid. And so he called the vet just in case. And sure enough, the calf was breached. And in a large animal like that, that's a very serious situation, and they have a hard time with it unless you help them. So I was able to go down to the barn and watch the whole delivery, and my dad and the vet worked together to help save the calf and the cow, and I just had those things happening to me all the time. And when my father passed on when I was 16, it happened again. I kind of had this premonition the night before, woke up in the middle of the night with these kinds of almost angelic messages telling me that things were going to change. And I never understood them. I just knew that they were happening. But then as I got older, I wanted to understand them. What is going on? Am I crazy? Because my friends, if I blurted out something like, they would say I was crazy or even weird, or, some religious connotation to all that kind of made me feel humiliated or bad. And so when my father passed on, we had a lot of those kinds of intuitive experiences. My mother had a dream that he was leaving the family. So we were very in tune with that side of life. And she took me to a lecture and a workshop, and what the presenter shared was like, it was like music to my ears because it helped me demystify all that, realize that everyone has those intuitive capabilities, those energies. It's just some of us cover it over, we ignore it. But if you can make a tool out of it to help you make decisions, to fact find, be more in the right place at the right time, then those intuitive abilities start to work for you rather than against you. I learned uh, I learned to discern what is me and my energy, and what am I picking up from the outside that I even think that's my energy, but actually it's not. So that level of discernment, it's a never-ending growth experience. The lessons that come out of that are powerful. I still learn more every day about it. There's no end to it, and I decided to make that my work to help other people to have the tools and techniques and resources to connect with that inner guidance, that source of higher inspiration. Some people call it angels or guides or the greater intelligence of the universe, whatever they call it. I wanted people to be able to connect with that more so they could never be alone and find their own answers. That became my career. I still do it today.
Wow, so how do people find you? Is it like intuitively they find you or
No, I've actually got iterations of websites. Got two websites that are out there. One is the Rise in Excellence website, riseinexcellence.com. So they can reach out and share with me there. We also we've been retooling these websites based on this new energy that we've been a part of. Another one is soul to soul living.com. My wife really especially works on that. And my daughter, Sandra, who's a collaborator and Empowered Soul Network, she has her own website too. That's one thing. They can reach out to me and friend me on Facebook, join the Empowered Soul Network group, raise their hand if they'd like to be interviewed like you did. So several ways to be able to do that.
that's cool. So, but who's like your typical client who comes to you?
Yeah, yeah. You know, people like me, people that they know there's more to life than what's just the intellectual, logical, rational point of view. They sense things, they feel things. They may describe themselves as empathic. They may describe themselves as psychic. They may describe themselves as, they've got those gut instincts and they want to know how to be in command of it more. They want to also feel that there's a deeper ability and competency to be masterful of their energy. so that they're more relaxed no matter what the chaos is going around, whether the kids are screaming and yelling or it's a contentious sales meeting. They can maintain their presence and their pivot point no matter what. So we do a lot of techniques to help people that have that kind of desire to step up more. And that could be a new explorer to that. They're curious, they're just starting to grasp into things. Or it could be a very seasoned practitioner who does healing, who does it, but they want to go deeper. They want to go be more in command of their energy. They want more personal protection with all the things that they deal with so they don't burn out, so they don't lose themselves inside of those relationships. So there's a lot of relationship work to help people have that sense of loyalty themselves as they're being loyal to connecting outside so they don't leave themselves out of their lives.
Wow. Yeah, so if I'm having some intuitive awarenesses or some dreams of Bessie the cow, what would be my first step? What do you recommend for people in order to kind of harness their intuition a little bit?
Yeah, great step. Great for and number one is factually be aware of it. That facts review. Okay, what is that? What did it happen? Okay, and maybe journal it down. A lot of times I'll write down, things that are coming up to me because your mind tends to go very quickly and you can lose some of the thoughts of the actual experience. So it's honoring and valuing the experience. Number two, shift the mindset from there's no crazy about this. There's nothing weird at all about this. More and more people believe in intuition. 70% of people in America say they're spiritual, but not religious, but they're spiritual. There's a connection to energy, to the universe. So, so that's the first step is taking away that there's something wrong. My wife has a mantra. She says, it's not what's wrong with Susan, it's what's strong with Susan. And that intuitive part is a gift. So to begin to honor that, it's to begin to look at that and then explore it. Find some people that have some methods or techniques that you can do that can start you on that. Log things on. And then when your intellect is beginning to second guess it, put that aside a little bit and go, what are the facts of what I'm feeling and sensing here? Well, I do know that there's nothing to fear. Okay. So that kind of processing. One thing that I love this quote, Derek, is from Einstein. So we think of him as a very intellectual person. He's actually a very deep, intuitive, spiritual person, incredible insights. And one of the things that he said, this is my favorite quote of all time from him: the intuitive mind is a sacred gift. The rational mind is a faithful servant. We've created a society that honors the servant, but has forgotten the gift.
Mm.
So don't put it aside. Don't poo-poo it. There's something there. There's something that's trying to communicate that there's more to it than what you may be just thinking about. So that's one thing that I would do.
Yeah, yeah, that's great. I love that. And I've heard Einstein was writing spiritual stuff, but it never came out because he died before it could, or something like that.
Well, yeah. And he said that he got the whole thing about the law of relativity and MC squared equals this, all that stuff. He got that kind of in one full swoop of a vision and connection and awareness. And then he spent the rest of his life trying to prove it, trying to clarify it and connect it. So, yeah, he was incredible with it. If you go look up quotes from Einstein, there's a whole ton of beautiful wisdom.
Yeah.
But here's the thing that's cool. That's the other thing that floats my boat too, which I love doing these interviews, Derek, is we all have that genius inside. We're all geniuses in our own right. We all have gifts and talents that if we open up and just communicate those, we can help somebody. It may only be one person, but that person could pay it forward or become the next great leader in the world or something like that. But if we hide it, hold it back because we don't think it's worthy, nobody's interested, nobody cares about my story, even though it could be very insignificant. There's some power and beauty there.
Absolutely. I love that. Yeah, thank you, Paul. Is there anything that I don't know you haven't talked about that maybe you want to tell everybody?
And, be aware of the people in your life that also have these inklings and talents and connections, especially your children. Help
Mm,
them to feel that everything's okay. Help them to find direction. Talk to them about it or find somebody that they can talk to. Kids are extraordinarily sensitive. They're like barometers. If you want to know what's going on in the household, just look at the kid for 5 minutes or 5 seconds even. It'll tell you what's happening there. So to honor the old souls around you and respect them and allow them to find their niche. They may not want to be the lawyer or the doctor, but they may be the next great piano player in the world. So helping them to have direction and boundaries, but also helping them to value and honor their creativity and the joy of that soul, helping them find their footing in this great, amazing, crazy world that we live in. That's a piece of what we do as parents is just help them keep safe and know what a stoplight is and know how to tie your shoes while they find their niche.
yeah. Yeah, because I've heard, babies, especially newborns, they're really deeply connected when they first, come out and they're all about energy. But then we teach them, once they get into this world, we teach them to kind of push it away.
Yeah, the programming starts to happen.
Yeah.
Or we get so busy as parents, we kind of cut off the child's desire to want to communicate. So it's not the quantity of time, it's the quality of time. And if a parent can be relaxed no matter what, and it's a challenge, I have my challenges with it. It's a challenge, but if you can somehow continue to work that out, it pays off in the long run. They really thrive later on in life and so forth.
Wow. Yeah.
And you're right. There's a study, it's being done currently. It's about telepathy in autistic kids. They're starting to show that kids communicate mentally, that these autistic kids have their own communication, very nonverbal, and you can watch them do these things, and they're starting to realize that there's a whole other thing going on with these kids that outwardly seemed disadvantaged, but there's an advantage inside of it. So prejudging anyone, especially our children, is a fool's errand. You never know where what that child is meant to be or do or grow into.
Yeah. Yeah. So true. Well, Paul, this has been great. I really appreciate you joining us today and sharing. And yeah, if anyone watching this, you resonate with Paul and you want to connect with him, definitely join his Facebook group, the Empowered Soul Network. And he's going to put any links, he's going to put it to the group and his
Yeah,
website or whatever he wants to share in the comments. So you'll be able to connect with him. And yeah, Paul, any final last words
yeah,
before?
I do. Everybody out there in Derek's group, raise your hand to do an interview. It is so fun to do these. You can see how relaxed it is, how easy it is. You don't have to be anybody, but just somebody who has a story to share. And I know Derek, this is great. I appreciate your style and the questions you asked. And so everybody raise your hand, just like you see that hand in the corner there. Everybody raise your hand.
Yeah, raise your hand. We want to hear from you. So thanks again, Paul. Uh, Thanks to everybody for watching. Like Paul said, raise your hand if you want to be interviewed or put interview here in the comments and we'll spotlight you, whether you have some gift to share or maybe you're struggling and need some support. We want to help you too. So thanks everybody and we'll see you at the next one.